What's good, everybody? It's your boy Vaughn back again, and today we have 5 Mortal Kombat characters that should not return to the game franchise. Now, the first character that I'm about to mention is who some people may know and some people may mistake for Ken from Street Fighter. That one being is Cobra. Now, Cobra is a member of the Black Dragon, like anybody else is in the fucking game, but Cobra's design is really good, and he does look very cool. Like, I'm not discrediting that at all, but he does look like a long lost twin brother of Ken from Street Fighter and a mixture of Johnny Lawrence from Karate Kid, the first Karate Kid. But other than that, I mean, Cobra really didn't have anything interesting about his character other than just being, part of the Black Dragon. I mean, I know they tried to show in I believe if it was Armageddon or Deception, that he was trying to be in the story on the conquest mode, but he really didn't add that much to it except for getting his ass beat by I believe Taven. So I don't really think his character would really add much to the story of the new timeline that's coming out. But the good thing that I can say about him is that he's a well-trained martial artist, and he does have interesting skill sets, and I love his sword that he uses in combat. But other than just his look and his design, I don't really see him actually having not only that much appeal in the newer game, but I don't really see him going anywhere with the newer story.
Cobra wins. Fatality.
Number 2. The second person I would not want to return to Mortal Kombat at all would be Jarek, because Jarek really didn't have much depth to his character. Now, his first appearance was in Mortal Kombat 4. He's a leader. Not a leader, but he's a member of the Black Dragon clan, which is led by Kano. But other than that, I mean, he really didn't have anything interesting about his story. And he was really basically based off of Kano originally. That's why his whole entire moveset is based off Kano. And he's more of like a less little cousin of Kano when you think about it. He's like that little cousin that has to tag along with Kano, even though, Kano doesn't want him around, so he has to be there with him. And, Jarek, he doesn't really have that much characteristics of his own that makes him stand out. And the only sucky part about it is, of what Midway did do, is that the only memorable part about him in Mortal Kombat 4 was that he got ran off a cliff. Or, not ran off a cliff, but he dropped off of a cliff. Which is like in the ending of Mortal Kombat 4. So that's like the only thing that's really interesting about Jarek, or anything that's memorable about him. So I wouldn't want to see him unless they come up with a new design or new story for him, but I don't think he should really return.
Fatality.
Number 3, we have the meats. I hope I don't get copyrighted for that, but the next character that I'm talking about is Meat. Now, not too many people are familiar with who Meat is, but from what I remember first seeing him in Armageddon. When I was young, I used to play Armageddon a lot. That was the very first Mortal Kombat game I ever played, so I used to go down a list and see a lot of characters that were familiar to me and unfamiliar to me. And one of those characters that really didn't stick out to me, but I also was intrigued by, was Meat. And Meat, he really, when I started playing with his character didn't really, I guess, do much for me in terms of his movesets and in terms of his design. And I understand that his backstory was mainly that he was an experiment going wrong by, Shang Tsung, but he managed to escape before the experiment was actually completed, which left him with walking and talking, with a gross eye hanging out, basically like a pile of meat. But, he really didn't have much to flesh out for his character, and you never really hear him mentioned again in either the newer Mortal Kombat games, from Mortal Kombat 9 or Mortal Kombat 10, Mortal Kombat 11. You never really, or even in the DLC in Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath, you never really hear him mentioned throughout the game at all. So maybe in the comics, but in the game, the video game world, you really don't hear him mentioned. So I would not want to see his character return back, because he doesn't really add, obviously something to it, unless we're gonna be going through, Shang Tsung's old timeline of him just experimenting on anybody and everybody, till some shit goes wrong. Number 4, Moloch. Now Moloch, as you look at him, he does look like a cool character. He looks like he's from the background of a dark, I don't know, mythological story, like a giant beast that was thrown away or something. But he looks like, something that's really cool to look at. But Mortal Kombat in the previous games of where they introduced him in Deadly Alliance, they really didn't give him anything to be fleshed out. And he was just kind of like a last minute character that was just there to be put as a sub boss, but he never really elevated past that or elevated much more than just what we saw in his design. And they tried to make us interested in him in his story, but it just never really was that appealing to us. His character, his design kind of reminds me of the newer character Tor, from Mortal Kombat X. So it's interesting to see, this type of look in, the previous Mortal Kombat games, and also it kind of reminds me somewhat of Tor. But I don't think his character would be good to come back unless they have a way to flesh him out with a different story, a different design, a different whole meaning to his character. And it's kind of like that with most of the characters that's on this list, in my personal opinion. But personally, at the moment, I don't really see him coming back, and I don't think he should return back to the franchise, but we'll have to just wait and see about it, Number 5. Lastly, do I have to say more? Do I really have to say more? The last character that I would not want to see return is Mocap. Now, I know the Mocap fans, the Mocap Mafia is going to be coming at me in the comment sections below, but I personally would not want to see him return because he really didn't add that much to the story. He really didn't add anything to the story when you think about it, except, he was basically a character that was, produced by Midway that was basically meant to be a joke. And the good thing about the character is that he's a tribute to Raiden's original actor, which was Carlos Pacina. And that's a cool fact about Mocap, being who he is. But he really doesn't add nothing to the story. So I would not want to see him return at all.
No idea how I got here. One moment I was in a motion capture studio in Chicago. The next moment I was here.
Thank you everybody for watching. If you enjoyed that 5 character breakdown of who should return and not should return, make sure you go like the previous video, and make sure you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Your boy Von out. Peace.